Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Life After the D. I am Coach April Elle. I am a trained life coach. It is my job to help women post-divorce and post-trauma restart, rediscover, and re-strategize their life. That's what I help them do. This show was created to show women that, yes, you may have had a divorce. Yes, you may have had some type of devastation, but there is life after, and it can be a beautiful thing. So today, I am super excited to have the beautiful Dion Rhodes with me today. Welcome to the show, Dion.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite.
Yes, absolutely. Dion is my papa distributor. She keeps me right together when it comes to all of my fly earrings, rings, and jewelry. Okay. So Dion, tell us who you are, what you do. Tell us a little about your family dynamic. We just want to know about you. Tell us.
Okay, well, thank you again for having me. I'm excited to be here. So, yes, of course, my name is Dion Rhodes. I grew up here, born and raised in the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia. I am a mother of one son who's almost 30, a wife of 8 years, a grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters. I just turned 50 this year, so this has been an epic year for me. And I'll start with the business owner. Yes, this is, I'm in my Papa room here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm known as Resilient Paparazzi Diva, where I sell $5 nickel and lead free jewelry. That's right. I don't leave home without it. I have been a business owner for about 3 years, have not turned back whatsoever. Love, love, love. This is my passion. Also, I have a career in the healthcare field. So I'm a director of business development at a local nursing facility where I just kind of connect with social workers and case managers within the hospital to get their patients transferred to my facility to get what they need prior to discharging home, a safe discharge. So I've been doing that for about 20 years or so. So basically, I love God. I love my family. I'm a pet owner. I love my beautiful Diesel. He's a Morkie. That's my baby. So I am just, loving life, living life, protecting my peace, and just doing my thing.
Awesome. And from the first time that I met you, you have just been just so upbeat, always super fly, and just always so kind. And so it's an honor for me to even know you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So Dion, share with me or share with us your story.
So my story, basically of how I got to where I am today. Yes, I was married before, and you go into it with the right intentions and the good intentions of spending forever and a day together, the rest of your lives together. And that was my intentions. But sometimes it just, it does not work out that way. So one of my stories, and the reason why I am the strong woman that I am today, is because I just have that spirit of loving yourself. So basically, when I got married, we were together for about maybe 2 years prior, and this is my first marriage. Together for about maybe 2 years prior. And everything was wonderful. Everything was really, really great. At that time, I was in the healthcare field, just getting into it, long time ago. And things, maybe a year after I was married, I just noticed that there was a change. We weren't on the same page anymore. And I always wanted that fairy tale marriage. I had the wedding and I wanted that marriage, the house with the white picket fence, all that good stuff. Family is everything to me because I do come from a large family. Yeah. So, after a year or so of being together, being married, I just kind of noticed that there were things that I wasn't really happy with anymore. And I noticed that we really weren't on the same page. So with that being said, after many conversations, trying, praying, taking in a lot and holding obviously in a lot, because I was scared to really say too much because I'm not a confrontational person at all. I don't like confrontation. Yeah. So, I just held in a lot, and that wasn't really good for me. I bottled it all up. Mm-hmm. You need an outlet. You really do. And I really at the time didn't have that because I didn't want to express a lot of what was going on to my family because I did not want them to start disliking him. Yeah. So I had to put on that brave face, and I had to be a little, I guess, untruthful to myself and everybody else that, we were in a happy type, marriage. And then I had gotten to a point to where I just wasn't myself anymore. I didn't feel like myself anymore. I didn't, and people started to notice it. I mean, they really did. People who are very close to me started noticing things. I didn't look happy anymore. We didn't do a lot of things together anymore. And I was just drained. I was drained. Yeah. So after taking all of that in consideration, I felt that it was just time for me to be happy because I was miserable, and I can't really speak for him, but for me, I was not happy and I wanted to be happy. That's how, I grew up watching my, mom and dad and my grandparents and the type of marriage that they had. That is what I wanted in my life as well. And I just didn't have that. So with that being said, I just, we sat down, had a conversation, and, surprisingly at the time, he was on the same page. He felt that it was just time. We were both young because got married very young. Yeah. So, we had a lot of growing up to do, but I really feel like we had grown apart from each other. Yeah. So it was just time for us just to go our separate ways. Yeah. Now, did it hurt? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Because I felt like a failure. I mean, I really felt like a failure. Yeah. But, again, you have to protect, your peace. So that's where we were, at that point of my life. And we just decided to divorce and go our separate ways.
Gotcha. And I can totally relate to just growing apart. And that part for me, because that was part of the reason why I was divorced as well. We're kind of similar in our stories, both being married young and just kind of going our separate ways. And we had other issues too, but you said that you felt like a failure, which is something that a lot of us feel when relationships don't work out, especially the woman. I don't know if men really express themselves because we're so emotional, but we take on so many different things. Failure. I know I felt embarrassed, ashamed that I couldn't make my marriage work. How did you work through those emotions that came after? Because, of course, it's a healing journey, but how did you begin to work on those emotions after it was all said and done?
It was hard. Yeah. It was really, really hard in the beginning. I have to be honest. I thought that it was going to be easy, just to move on and just, not think about things. But it really was hurtful for me. I went through a lot of pain because I was truly in love, and again, I went into it with the intentions that we were going to be together, through thick and thin, sickness and health, all that, the vows that we both said. So it was very difficult for me. And I just had to do a lot of praying. I spent a lot of time with my family, and I spent that time rediscovering who I was, because I felt in a sense that I had lost myself while we were married, because I really put him first, and I kind of forgot about myself. So it was really a journey, and it was really a time. It really was. But it's just, it just one day at a time. One day at a time is how I took it. I spent a lot of time again with my mom, and I are really close. My aunt and I, who's in Jacksonville, Aunt Keely,
Yes.
we're like sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So it really helped me a lot just by being with family, knowing that you're being loved unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you as well. I read a lot. I
Yeah.
just read a lot, of the self-help type, books. And that helped me really get through my ordeal day by day, day by
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that affect you in other areas of your life, as far as spiritually, health wise, or just any other, did it impact any other area of your life the way you were feeling at that time?
Well, it did. I did lose a little bit of weight
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't feel like eating
Yeah.
anything. Um, I stopped going to church. I really did. I wasn't going to church that much anymore. I was embarrassed. I was really, really embarrassed. So it did affect, a lot of areas in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I had to rediscover myself. And I'm like, girl, get your butt up and live.
Yeah.
Life is not over.
Mm-hmm.
There were times when I called in from work because I was crying so much the next morning. My eyes were puffy and I didn't want to go, to work and have anybody in my business or anything like that. So it was, it affected a lot of areas,
Yeah.
but not for that long. I
Right.
would have to say it was a gradual type thing. And maybe it took me a couple of months to try to pick myself up and bounce back.
Yeah.
But it was tough. Divorce is it's not easy at all. It's not easy.
Yeah, not at all. It truly is like a death. You're, especially when you're in love, like truly in love, and you have bonded yourself to this person, and now you have to separate
Mm-hmm.
everything, including your souls.
Mm-hmm.
It is so traumatic. It's so traumatic to your spirit, to your mind, to your life. It is a death. It truly is a
Absolutely.
death. Yeah.
I agree.
And I've heard you, listening to you, and I know that you are a confident, woman, very strong and powerful. And a lot of women, I think, and one of the things that I want to stop and talk about, because I think it's so powerful that you said, is that you recognize that you wasn't yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
recognize that you were actually changing and losing yourself. And in a lot of the other interviews that I've done, and even with myself, we
Mm-hmm.
lose ourselves in our marriages. We lose ourselves and not just in our marriages, but in other things too, because we're such helpers in the world that we always give our all to things and then put ourselves on the back burner. So I think that that was truly a powerful statement that you said, that you recognize that you just wasn't yourself anymore. It was taking too much of you away. So I want you to talk to the women who may have, um, not felt that way about themselves, about their confidence, about their esteem to begin with, or even after divorce, having to find that confidence and that esteem again. Can you speak to that a little bit? What could they do, or what would you suggest that they would to do to rebuild that?
Absolutely. I would definitely say, start to rediscover that spiritual inner peace that you have within yourself. Just pray a lot. And I'm telling you, it's not a cliche. It really helped me. It helped me a lot. Every morning I would read a Bible verse or something, because I did not feel like myself. I didn't look like myself. I stopped taking care of myself. So for those women that are out there, just start with prayer first. Just start with prayer every morning, every night. Just, ask God to give you that strength to continue on your life and your journey.
Yeah.
And then therefore find if you don't have the family support, because again, that worked for me. So I'm only speaking for, me,
Yeah.
but my family really helped me so much. But for
Yeah.
those who don't have that family connection, close friends. You don't want to put your business too much out there, but someone that you really, really trust, confide in them. Confide in them. You don't want to bottle all of that up. And if you don't have that outlet, then I would just say, and it's not embarrassing to say, but you can talk to a professional. Just talk to a professional counselor or someone to help you, who's trained in this, to help you get through this journey. Because the last thing that you want is to sink into a deep depression, because that's not going to help you, at all. So you have to open up. You have to be able to express your feelings, talk about, what's going on within yourself. And just make sure you have that support. Make sure you have that support, someone that's going to help empower you and help lift you up in this time of mourning. And that's what I because like you said, you touched on it, it's like a death. It really is like a death. So you have to make sure that you surround yourself with the right people, positive people that are not going to tear your ex down, but they're going to lift you up, give you some inspiring, motivating words to lift you up, get you out of the bed, get you out of the house. Of course we're going to cry, because it's, that's inevitable. I mean, you're going to cry, and crying is good. Let it out. Just let it out. Scream if you want to. Do what you have to do. Just let it out. But then once you let it out, it's time to refocus on you and getting yourself back to where, or better than where you were before.
Yeah, I love that answer, because I think a lot of times we feel like we have to be so strong, especially us as women of color. We feel like we have to be so strong, and all women, not just saying that, but crying is good. I heard Jill Scott say this, and I was actually going through my process and just listening to her one night. She's so in tune with herself, and she was like, sometimes you got to just get involved with your emotions. A lot of people want to downplay their emotions. They feel like, okay, I should be over this by now. I've cried for a week, or I've cried for a month. But sometimes you have to get involved with your emotions and realize what it's telling you, why it's showing up. And crying and releasing is a good thing, especially on your healing journey. You can't continue to bottle it down or push it down. That's where different vices and things begin to come into play.
Right.
So I think that you saying that was very powerful, and it's something that I hope the women who are watching that may be in this state right now feel like it's totally okay and it's totally normal to be emotional. This is grieving, this truly a grieving process. So now let's kind of talk about life after.
Okay.
What do you think are life lessons that divorce taught you? What did it teach you?
It taught me to be a stronger individual. It taught me to know my worth and what I deserve in life. Moving on to another relationship or any other stage that you're moving on to. It taught me to love myself more and realize, girl, you deserve the best. There's nothing wrong with that. You deserve the best. Don't settle. You should not settle. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to love yourself and set standards for yourself, or goals, for yourself in life, no matter what you decide, you want to do. So it made me stronger. It made me realize that, I'm a lot stronger than what I was, in the past, and to know my worth and know what I deserve and what I should not accept.
Yeah.
Not best for me.
I think that's phenomenal, because setting standards is something, especially after your divorce, and if you desire to be married again, or to at some point begin to date again, you definitely want to have those standards in place. Dating now is
okay.
I have no words. I have no words.
Neither do I.
So So yeah, talk about those standards for women who want to begin to date again after divorce. What type of standards do you think that they really need to focus on, and how can they stick to them?
Okay. For me, I just, I wanted someone that would love me for me. I wanted someone that would love me for me. So I took it very slow. Did I meet a lot of different men? Yes, I did. I didn't go out on a lot of dates because I was really just, I'm not going to say I was just cautious. I'm not going to say afraid, but I was cautious.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, again, that I was not going to lower my standards and get connected with someone that was not good for me. If you didn't want the same things that I wanted in life, there's no need to even go any further conversation with it. Deuces, right? So, so I just basically took my time. I really did. I took my time. I didn't throw myself out there too quickly. I had friends that, oh girl, I want you to meet somebody. I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I still need to just take that time just to heal a bit and to focus on me and the things that I love to do before I can focus on someone else and love myself correctly before I love somebody else.
Yeah.
So the standards, just, make sure that, you're not settling.
Yeah.
Don't settle for someone who is not doing as well as you or better. And really, I'm not trying to be stereotypical or anything like that. But, you don't, to me, I didn't want anyone that didn't want anything in life.
Right.
If they didn't, if they didn't want anything in life, and if I didn't see them going hard, or setting goals for themselves, then, I knew that was not the right route or person, for me. So just pay attention to that and just don't lower your standards.
Absolutely on that one. 1000% stamped approved on that one. Because we work too hard and, we do all of this healing work only to have somebody to stop us, or we got to stop and wait on them. I definitely 100% agree with that. So I wanted to kind of get to around the dating part, because I wanted women to know that even though you've been through a divorce, some of us, are okay being single. And this is for the ones that's, going through the process. And I love that you said that you took your time and did your healing. So you always want to make sure that you're doing your work first, which is the healing and getting to know yourself and being stronger. But then there's some of us who, have done the work and are still in progress. We're all still works in progress. Who desire to be married again, like myself. And so I wanted to get around the dating part because I wanted you to talk about your happily ever after.
Yes.
With your forever love. So talk a little bit about that, because we want to hear the happily ever ending part.
Yes. So my husband and I, we have been married for 8 years, but we've been together for over 12 years. Okay. So that tells you right there. We dated for about 5 years.
Yeah.
We dated for about 5 years before we got married, because because he came out of a marriage as well. We both wanted to make sure that that's what we wanted to do. It was just, it was really, really good, because he and I were on the same page. And that's what I'm saying. And I wasn't even looking to date at the time. I wasn't looking for him whatsoever. We just happened to meet. He was very persistent. Kept calling. And I'm gonna be honest, at first I was not interested in him. I really wasn't. No. I was working. I was not even dating. I really wasn't dating. I was just working, going to school, going home. I was a single mom. That was all I was doing at the time. But then when he came into my life, he was just, it was just so funny, because he sent me a dozen of roses at work. And on the card, it said, from your admirer, your secret admirer. So I'm like, who in the world did this come from? I had no idea. But he had that swag. He really did. Because I ended up I called the florist and I asked them. And the owner was so nice. You know, she said, well, I really can't say anything, she said, but he's supposed to reveal himself by the end of the day. And she said, if he doesn't do that, then you call me back and I'll tell you who they came from.
Okay.
And so I said, yeah. So it was like a little scavenger type punch, you know, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So, you know, it brightened my day. And I was like, okay. So towards the end of the day, 4:30, just as I was leaving my job, then he came into my office and then he revealed himself. And I thought he was really nice. But again, I was not interested in dating at that time, but he was so persistent. Yeah. And that's what I mean. And that's what really got me. That's what really got me. Because as many times as I said no, and I'm not interested, he just kept, you know, and I said, okay. I said, it wouldn't hurt. I said, let me just go on one date, you know, with them. And then, you know, I did. And here we are 12 years later. Aww. So that's my boo.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and we love a man that knows what he wants and is persistent. Like, I see it, I want it, I'm going to get it.
Right.
So,
and I had never had that before. That was something refreshing and something new for me. Yeah. So, you know, and the more I talked to him after that, the more I talked to him, the more I realized how much we had in common. Yeah. We pretty much wanted the same things. He had drive. Yeah. You know, I had drive. Yeah. You know, and we wanted so much more out of life. And I wasn't used to a man like that. I really wasn't. And he challenged me a lot. Yeah. You know, and we challenged each other. Mm-hmm. So, you know, fast forwarding, we dated. We talked about marriage maybe a few years after, maybe 2 or 3 years into dating. We talked about it, and we were exclusive, obviously. But you know, he knew that I was afraid, you know, and I just wanted to make sure. So we said that if we were still together at 5 years, that we would go ahead. He surprised me and he asked me to marry him, and so that's my boo. He just. You want somebody that you know is going to be there for you, that's going to have your back when you fall, somebody that's going to be there to catch you, and vice versa. You want to be there for your husband, you know, your man as well. Yeah. You know, everything shouldn't fall just, you know, on him. Yes. It's a team. It's definitely a team. And that's how we've been going ever since.
Yes. Oh, tell Jimmy he gets all thumbs up from us. Like he did that. That's what we like. He did
that. And like my family, I mean, Jimmy, like I said, I had never met a man like him in my life. Yeah. So he was like my knight in shining armor. He really swept me off my feet. But I love telling that story of when we first met. Yeah. Because no, I didn't like him. I'm like, ow, would you just leave me alone? He just, you know, he was not a quitter. He was like, look, I want what I want, and I'm going to get her. I'm going to get it. And he got me. He got me.
Yeah. That's what we want. We just like, come get us. Yeah. You know, don't just come with that foolishness. Come get us. Cause you know, we got a lot going on in it. Yeah. In the run of the day. We need to know, you know, you ready for this thing. Yeah.
But that's my boo. I love him to
death. Yes. And I've seen you guys interact together, and it is a beautiful thing to see. And so life after the D for you was happily ever after.
It was happily ever after. Yes. What I love about it too is my business and in my career, both. He's been very supportive. He's always been there. Actually, he's the one that actually suggested that why don't you, because he saw how much I was buying. Yeah. He was like, you know what? He was like, why don't you need to invest? Yeah. You know, and I was like, I was like, okay. And sure enough, after he had made that comment, I joined, and I've been going strong ever since. And he supports me, because a lot of times your spouses don't really support you. they don't, and sometimes they can be a little bit of a barrier, but I'm just blessed to say that, he's been pushing and encouraging me, and just anything that he sees that I have a vision for and a dream for, he's right there to help me.
Oh, that is so like music to my ears,
So,
because, being a woman who always have all these ideas and always wanting to be, successful and impactful. I want to have that type of love. So that's so inspiring to me today. Your love story is so beautiful to me. So I want to begin to wrap up by saying thank you so much for being open, being honest and transparent with us, and being inspiring and being an example that, God is good. And
all the time.
yes, and he can restore in us and give us still the desires of our hearts, and give us things that we may not even know we wanted
That's
or
right.
needed, and
That's
give it
right.
to us in such an amazing way.
That's
So,
right.
Dion, before we close, I ask every guest this question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you could look directly in the camera to a woman or a man who may be watching this episode that has just signed the papers, that maybe have signed them a couple of months ago or even a year ago, and they're still just kind of in that place where after it's done, you're just kind of stuck like, holy crap, what am I going to do now? I'm scared. I'm fearful. I don't know, because everything is going on. I don't know what's about to happen. What encouragement or inspiring words could you give that person that's watching right now in that place?
Life is not over. Do not give up on yourself. Love yourself. Granted, a man or woman does not define who we are, okay, as a person. So you've got to just take time to heal. And time is your best friend. Time is your best friend. So you will eventually get over your divorce, your ex. I promise you, you will be just fine. But life is not over, boo. Life is not over. It is just beginning for you. So just know your worth, stay strong, stay spiritual, and I promise you, everything will be just fine. You will find your love. You will find your next husband or next wife. You will. So just don't give up on yourself, and life is not over.
Awesome. Amazing words. Thank you so much, Dion. Please tell everyone where they can find you and where they can shop paparazzi. How can they find you?
Absolutely. Okay, so I am on social media. I'm on Facebook, Dion Michelle Rhodes. Also, I have a group that is Resilient Paparazzi Diva VIPs. So you would just request to join. I would love to have you, bring you in. And I also have a website, paparazziaccessories.com. And the ID number is 97490.
Awesome. Well, I'll be on. I have just all kinds of beautiful accessories.
You look amazing.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you so much again for being here with me today. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. Please share this with people or someone you may think can use this information. And also, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Coach April Elle, ELLE, or at aprilelle.com. Until the next episode, thank you for watching.